Do you think they give you what you needed?
I've got half of it.
Right.
I've got attraction, they haven't given me what I normally like, and then everything else is tick, 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 tick.
In itself, do you not find that attractive, or does it have to be
A bit, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about couples meeting up, because every time couples meet up, there's always going to be drama, and there's always going to be things that happen or are said that you wonder why. But at the same time, I have to give credit to Nate. Nate is now the new expert. Nate is the new expert. They need to bring on board a fourth expert onto this show, because the three that are there ain't doing it. Anyway, hi there. Thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight UK, Season 9, Episode 7. Well, it's dinner party time. What could go wrong? What really could go wrong? Anyway, so all the couples are back from their honeymoons and they're moving into the apartment. And it's very interesting to see that the drama that has sort of transpired between all the couples that are married. So first off, you have Charlie and Orson. They move into their apartments on their own just because their partners have left. Well, they haven't left the experiment, I don't think, because we haven't heard anything, but they sort of stormed off and never came back. And so which left their partners to sort of be in this no man's land where they don't know whether their partner is coming back or not. So it will be interesting because Eve and Charlie have a conversation before they move in. And it seems everything is happening in doubles in the season, because you have Ross and Sasha and Kieran and Christine. They are the happy couple. So they are the couples that are happy with their matches, and they are, in this very good space whereby they are just excited to be moving in. You have Kieran buy, Christina a sweater that looks like his so that they could match and she wouldn't take his, which was very considerate and very endearing. You have Ross and Sasha, they're excited to be moving in. I think they've moved away from celibacy. I think whatever Ross has done has reassured her so much that Sasha is happy to sort of settle into her role as a new wife, because she said she would move anywhere with Ross because of how comfortable he makes her. You then have the two couples that are not attracted to their partners, obviously, which are, you have Emma and Casper, and then you have Adam and Polly. And it's like, these men, I've said it before and I'll repeat, they keep going on about the fact that they're not attracted to their wives. Okay, that's a given. That's acceptable. You can't force an attraction. But at the same time, we have never heard the wives say anything negative about these geniuses. I wish the producers would ask their wives, yes, you are attracted to your husband, but is he your type? If they say he's not my type, then they should tell them, go and tell him that. Because they need to be humbled, because they both got dad bods and they both fours or fives, and so the audacity to say that we don't like our wives and our wives are not our type is a bit shocking for me, and it's a bit disheartening that they are allowed to continue to do this. Alex and Holly are in a very good space. They feel like they are on cloud 9. They've got over their grievance, so they're in a happy space. Lacey and Nathaniel, they seem to be in a good space as well. The only problem is Nathaniel is being very awkward. I don't know whether it's because of his ADHD and it takes him a bit longer to sort of adapt to certain situations. But it was nice to see him sort of help Lacey with her hair for the dinner party, which I felt was very cute and very endearing. So I can't wait to see what happens there. You have Eve and Charlie sit down for a conversation, obviously, because there's this issue that needs to be discussed or addressed before they go to the dinner party. So the couples arrive for the dinner party, and it's about to be messy. It is about to be messy because someone is about to say something or do something that's going to turn things left, and once they turn left, it's going to be difficult to sort of resolve them, because you have Charlie and Eve, they've agreed to disagree and they've agreed to move on from whatever issues they had. I know with Casper and Emma, they decided that they would wait for the experts to sort of help them sort of address the issues that they had in regards to their marriage and anything else that might be going on from there. So I can't wait to see what happens with that. And then at the dinner party, the first couple to arrive are Kieran and Christine. They're in a great mood. They've been very happy from the moment they saw one another, so it's not surprising that they're happy to be there. Alex and Holly are the second couple to come in. They are happy as well. You have Alex talking about, I couldn't have been matched with a better person. And we all know the drama's coming. We all know the drama's coming. It's only a matter of time before things fall apart for them. So after them, you have Sasha and Ross. Sasha and Ross are another couple that have been in a very good headspace since they met, and they're still happy to be where they are. You have Ross have a conversation with Alex, sort of telling him that at the moment Sasha is being celibate, so he has offered to sleep on the couch until she's ready, which is a good idea because I was questioning whether or not they had had sex, and it seems they're in a great place. You have Charlie and Eve arrive. They as well are excited. Obviously, we all know that they have made amends, so it's only a matter of time before they fall apart. I said this when I was watching Married at First Sight USA, and I'm going to repeat this again. I'm a bit conflicted in my opinion, but I feel like on Married at First Sight USA, because they don't have the commitment ceremony, they should really limit the number of sort of interactions between the couples, because that can be very messy. We saw that in last season. Whereas in the UK version, where the experts use this as an opportunity to observe the couples and see their interactions and see if there are any cracks that they need help with, I think it's a good idea. The only problem is we have a situation whereby you have Sasha sit down with Charlie and Holly, and because Eve was with the brides to be at the bachelorette party, Charlie spent time with the guys, so she was there when Alex made this comment about wife swap. So she then has this conversation, and it's like, why are we bringing this up? I wish Charlie had sat down with Alex and sort of asked him, how do you feel about your wife? So is she someone you like, or is she someone that you feel you want to swap, since that was your comment during the bachelor party? And then if he says it's someone he likes, then I would have said, well, you need to let your wife know about the comment you made, because somebody's going to tell her if you don't tell her first. I don't think she should have addressed it with the wife first. And because of this, what happened is you now had Holly feeling some type of way. She went to have a conversation with Alex, and it was a very confrontational. Their communication skills are terrible. They really are terrible. They need the experts to teach them how to communicate with one another, because one is, you have Holly who's very confrontational, and then you have Alex, who doesn't like confrontation. When he feels backed into a corner, then he bites. But at the end of the day, he's very dismissive in his approach as well. So I really wish that had been left until they sat down on the couch with the experts. That way the experts could intervene and sort of provide insight or support into how to address those issues and deal with them. Alton arrives on his own because he still hasn't seen Rochelle since the honeymoon, and he doesn't know whether she's coming, which is really sad. You have Casper walk in with Emma. Emma is excited to be there. She's happy to see the girls. The girls are happy for her. You also have Adam and Polly walk in. And so the girls are sort of discussing their couples and what's happening. And the issue comes obviously of attraction, in the sense that you have Polly telling the girls that her husband says he's not attracted to her, even though he's had sex with her. And you have Adam telling Charlie that, I don't have the urge to rip my wife's clothes off. And Mel was right to say, how can you say you don't have the urge to rip your wife's clothes off, but you're having sex with her? Make that make sense? It's either you don't have the urge, or you do have the urge, but you're trying to sort of play stupid games. And so I don't know why they did that at all. I really don't. And it's really disheartening, and it's really heartbreaking. You have a conversation between Polly and the girls, with Polly sort of telling the girls that her husband has said he likes petite brunettes. And because he likes petite brunettes, she's now concerned that what if Lacey comes and he likes Lacey? And it's like, it's not a wife swap. He needs to go to wife swap if that's what he wants. This is Married at First Sight. Whoever he's been matched with is who he has to deal with. It's not a matter of if you don't like yours, then move on to the next one. I don't get that, and I really don't like that, and that makes me very furious. I wish they wouldn't allow it. The biggest mistake they did was when they allowed that couple to wife swap. And now everybody thinks it's a wife swap show, when it's not. It's a Married at First Sight. You are matched with who you're matched with, and that's it. So the last couple to arrive are Lacey and Nate. And you see, as soon as she walks in, you see Adam's eyes light up. And it's like, why are your eyes lighting up? That's not your wife. For him to go, wow. It's like, I don't get people that go on about a hair color. that's just a hair color. At the end of the day, he likes blonde that are petite. And it's like, your wife could go to the gym. She could dye her hair blonde if that's what you want. You don't, those are not features. People are so obsessed in features instead of being obsessed with somebody's character, because at the end of the day, their facial features, their body structure will change, especially with women. When they have children, their bodies change. So for him to be ecstatic about somebody else's wife, I don't get it. And you could see that his own wife was staring at him. She was staring him down to see how he reacted. And it's like, this can't be a marriage. This is not healthy. You can't be staring each other down to make sure that, your husband is not attracted to somebody else. Make that make sense? I like the fact that Nate sort of brought his wife, because he had already heard this comment and he had a sit in between them and he was making out with his wife, and he really wanted to sort of, I think he was marking his territory and making sure that Adam understood that this was a no-go area. This was a taken woman. So there was no room for him to come and try and sort of make a pass at her. You have everybody go to the dining table. Rochelle never turned up, so I assume she's left the experiment for good. So Olsen was sitting on his own. And then the conversation starts again, please, about Alex and the comments he made. And I think people are sort of trying to sort of divert attention from their own problems. He is justified in saying, why are people poking their noses into my business instead of worrying about their own marriages and their own problems? Which is true, because I don't get how Polly is suddenly involved in this situation, and she's telling, Alex's wife, Holly, that, you don't need to be involved with someone who doesn't see your worth. And it's like, that has nothing to do with you. At the end of the day, that has no bearing on your marriage. So you need to focus on your man saying he's not attracted to you and leave somebody else to focus on her own marriage. As far as I'm concerned, you have Alex storm off because I think he was upset. I think this is Alex's problem. I think he's got a short temper, so he's easily triggered. And I think he's got bad communication issues. Very bad communication issues. And so those two things are his weaknesses that he needs to work on. Otherwise, he's really going to struggle to have a relationship. He can't expect everybody to be like his mom. Nobody's going to match that. So he needs to regroup and sort of come up with a different plan. It's interesting, the conversations at the dinner table, because eventually you have Emma and Polly sit together and they find out that they share something in common, which is that their husbands are saying they're not attracted to them. I like the fact that they were hypercritical of Casper and said Casper is not a Greek god, so he's not like Iron Man, so he needs to calm down and stop criticizing, because he made the curvy comments. Polly actually agreed that her husband hasn't said that, but that's the impression that she gets, that he doesn't like her because of her body size and stuff. And so I don't know whether it's worth the experts sort of sitting down and having conversations with these guys, because they were saying that, for example, with Adam, he has this list of what he wants, which hasn't worked for him. And instead of him understanding that my list hasn't worked, let me deviate to something different and see if it works. You didn't get that? You really didn't get that from him? And so Adam is having a conversation with Casper and he's saying, she ticks all the other boxes except the fact that I don't want to rip her clothes off. And it's like, so what happened then? On the day you had sex, did she fold her clothes neatly in a corner, stand in front of you naked, or lay on the bed and then you just dived on top of her? Make it make sense? If you hadn't had sex with her, if you hadn't kissed her, then we would accept your explanation, but sadly we don't. I like the fact that Nate is the new expert. Nate is the new expert because he asked him, would you say you're very superficial? Which is the truth, because you've got everything else you want, but you're very hypercritical about just one thing. Make it make sense. Would you rather get 75% of what you want and miss out on 25%? Or would you rather have 25%, which is just the looks, and her have a terrible character? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I don't get it, and I really don't like it. You have a conversation between Casper, speaking to sort of Eve and Alex, and they're trying to get Alex to understand where his wife is coming from. Charlene was right to say that he needs to apologize. Had he apologized, they would have moved on. He still hasn't apologized. What he does is something that I always talk about, which is he listens to respond. He doesn't listen to understand, because had he listened to understand, he would have heard what Casper said, which is your wife is hurt by the comment you made. Yes, you might not have meant her in particular, but the fact that before you even met her, you were making these comments about swapping your wife, I feel like this is where she is. And instead of him saying, oh, maybe I need to take that, I need to pull her aside and apologize. No, he's, oh, she disrespected me. She disrespected us. She doesn't have my back. She should be having my back. And it's like, seriously, it's not that deep. Why should she have your back? What have you done to earn that? What have you done to earn that? I don't get it. So you now have his wife sort of move away with the other woman to go and have a conversation. She went with Lacey and Charlie and they were talking. And she is now upset because she feels that he's disrespectful and he hasn't... Their communications are terrible. Their communication style is terrible. This is what I'm going to say. They need help from the experts and they need to understand what's going on. You have Casper saying, you know, he is not attracted to his wife. He was busy talking and you're saying, I want the experts to tell me why I've been matched. And it's like, please sit down. Please sit down. We're not here for it and we don't want to hear it. You are not a prize. So please don't make it seem like, you know, you've been shortchanged. There are other qualities in your wife that you might like. And I said this before and I'll say this again. The moment he said his wife reminds him of his sister, that was the end of the marriage. They should have just said divorce. That's it. They should write leave, in my opinion. As much as people want to be on the show, they need to write leave for both their mental health. And also, I like the fact that the experts were able to bring up that apparently Casper had body image issues. So for him to project his body image issues on his wife doesn't make sense. I really don't get it. It's interesting that out of the 8 couples, only 3 couples are happy. So the 3 couples happy are Kieran and Christina, Sasha and Ross, and then you have Lacey and Nathaniel. So you have them having a conversation with Orion. Orson, sorry, I was calling him Orion. I don't know where that came from. Because he can see that these 2 people really like one another and he's asking them, you know, so where do you stand in regards to your connection? You're very cute together. Do you think you are at love, or do you see yourself about to fall in love? And you have this idiot, Adam, with his ears wide open, because you can tell that he really likes, you know, Lacey, and he's really trying to see how he can get his head in. He's trying to assess the situation, I think, to see how strong their bond is and to see if he has a shot of actually getting with her. That's the impression that I get because of the comments that he was making. And so he then asks them, if you were to score your relationship or to score if you're in love, how would you rank yourselves? I give Nate a lot of credit because I misjudged him at the start because he actually refused to score his marriage. He refused to score whether he's likely to fall in love or not. He kept evading the question. And everyone was like, oh, you need to give us an answer. You need to give us an answer. And in his quest to show that he's the man, you have this idiot, Adam, say, well, I would rank my marriage at a 4 because I don't think I'm at love at the moment because of the things that I'm missing. And it's like the things you're missing, she is also missing certain things in this marriage. It's not just you who's missing something. You need to keep quiet and pack it in because we're fed up of you and your comments as though you're a 10 out of 10 when you are really a 4 yourself. So you then have the girls having a conversation because Emma and Polly are sort of trying to vent about their marriages and the lack of attraction in their marriages. That's when Lacey goes across and sort of tells her that your husband has just scored you a 4 out of 10, which now infuriates her and she storms off. And it's like, Polly, you knew that this man wasn't attracted to you. I don't know why you had sex with him after your friend told you that he said he doesn't feel like he has the urge to rip your clothes off. I don't know whether you're trying to prove a point or not. So she eventually goes out crying and he eventually comes and tries to address the issue. Lacey comes as well and tries to sort of back what she said. And it's like, this is a bit too much. And I don't get why the girls feel like they're struggling in their marriages and they are struggling to communicate with their husbands, but they have the audacity to go and try and sort of confront somebody else's husband. Because you had Polly try to confront Alex to sort of say the comments you made were unacceptable. And it's like, I don't think you are the one who should be speaking to him. He's speaking to Eve. Get someone to pull Eve aside and get Eve to sort of try and sort of have this conversation with him to see if they can get him to understand. Because Orson and the other guys were trying to sort of get Alex to understand where he had gone wrong, but he was struggling. You then have, his wife comes over wanting to find out what's happened, and then she storms off because she says she feels like, she can't have a man like that around her children. Here is my opinion. Holly has a type, and sadly, her type is not Adam. But I think if she were to look in Adam's way, he would jump, because it seems he will take anyone who's brunette and petite and is banging. Yes, he hasn't said anything about Holly, I think because he's worried about Alex, so he's trying to avoid Alex. And so I have a feeling that if anything, if Holly decides to stay on the show, she could end up with this idiot Adam, and then things will go left. I like the fact that they try to have a conversation. The problem is Alex struggles to say I'm sorry. I don't know why. I don't know whether he sees it as a form of weakness or whatever, but he struggles with the words I'm sorry, because had he apologized to his wife and just told her he's sorry, they could have been able to move away from this. Yes, I get where he's saying that he doesn't want other people's wives or other couples interfering in their relationship, but at the same time, if you do something wrong and if everybody around you is saying you've done something wrong, the least you can do is apologize. That's just my opinion. Just say I'm sorry, take the L, and keep it moving if you're really attracted to your wife. Yes, he's saying, yeah, I'm attracted to you, so that doesn't apply to you, but she's still offended. She's still upset. She's telling you she's upset. The least you can do is apologize. So I can't wait to see what happens at the commitment ceremony. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 6. Bye guys.